Welcome to this week's edition of Sun News at Noon. I'm Stockton Myers.
And I'm Reagan Morris. Thanks for tuning in.
An exhibit about sexual assault is coming to 2 locations on campus next month. What Were You Wearing is an exhibit from the Women's Resource Center that seeks to disprove the stereotype that more assaults happen to women because of the clothing they were wearing at the time of the crime. The exhibit will be open first at the Holland Building from April 4th to the 8th, and then will open again at the HPC lobby from the 11th to the 15th.
This week we celebrate diversity at DSU with events held each day. The annual Taste Around the World took place yesterday on campus. Students, staff, and faculty had the opportunity to share their culture by preparing dishes from their home country. Over 18 different countries were represented at the event, accompanied by a popular native dish. The event is hosted each year by the Multicultural and Inclusion Center and has become a community favorite. All were invited to eat, learn, and celebrate different cultures. The next event of Diversity Week will be Watching Into the Spider-Verse tonight at 7 p.m. in the Burns Arena.
Dixie State University has many international students. Here is reporter Misha with an international student highlight.
Dixie State University has around 200 international students that are currently enrolled on campus, and their number continues to grow. We asked them why they chose Dixie State.
One of the reasons that brought me to Dixie, I wanted to change career paths because my first bachelor's was business, and then I realized I wanted to do something more creative, so I decided to go back to school. And the tuition here at DSU is very affordable, and also we have great weather here in southern Utah, very sunny. Here I've had really good opportunities to develop my design skills. Thanks to one of my professors, Rachel Ramsey, I was recommended to a local software company. So I'm currently doing an internship in graphic design. And I've been working for this company for like over a year now. So I think that's gonna give me a great experience. And then when I graduate, I think it will give me a good chance to find a job within my field in design. And hopefully in the future, I would like to have my own creative agency, and like be my own boss, and we'll see what the future brings.
The international office has tremendous quantifiable success in the last couple of years. Just to give you some numbers, last year, or we can say 2 years ago, on today's date and today, when we compare the growth, we are at 566% admit growth. That is huge. And now that we are going out from a small college in the middle of southern Utah into an institution on a global scale, Utah Tech University, we are entering a new phase. The goal is we try to help increase the local economy, diversity, intercultural understanding to an extent physically possible.
For Sun News, I'm Misha Mosichuk.
Resources for international students can be found at international.dixie.edu.
Starting Monday, DSU is celebrating the 109-year-old tradition of Dweek. Dweek is filled with events for students, staff, and community members. These events include the 100th D-Queen pageant, Brooks Birthday Carnival, the Great Race, and more. Rounding out the week's festivities will be Inferno, the last dance of the year, featuring a special guest artist. Visit dixie.edu/dweek for the event list and details.
Utah is in a drought, which means we all need to do our part to save water. Here are some easy ways to do so. Start by not taking baths and instead take shorter showers. The easiest way to do this is get wet, turn off the water, lather up with soap and wash your hair, and then turn the shower back on to rinse off. Another way to save water is to avoid flushing toilets when you don't need to. That means disposing of tissues and bugs in a trash bin rather than flushing them down the toilet. When doing laundry, only use the washing machine when it is fully loaded, or adjust the washing machine water level to the appropriate amount of clothes that you are washing. Lastly, be sure to have some sort of water backup in case of emergencies. You can never be too careful when it comes to water.
St. George is recorded as the fastest growing population in the U.S. A new report shows nearly 10,000 new residents of Washington County from July of 2020 to July of 2021. This is a 5.1% increase in just a year. With new growth comes new problems. And the biggest problem for St. George is the steep housing market. The median sales price as of 2021 is $50,000, making it unaffordable for many people to buy a home. The county struggles to build more houses due to constraints on labor and construction supplies. CEO and part owner of Air Brokers Consolidated, Neil Walters, says that prices in the housing market won't stabilize until inventory is added to keep up with the growing population.
The Utah legislature overrides Governor Cox's veto. On March 22nd, Governor Cox vetoed a bill affecting high school athletics. This bill bars transgender girls from participating in female school sports. On Friday, the legislature voted to override his veto. The House vote was 56 to 18, and the Senate vote was 21 to 8 in favor of the override. This ban is set to take place on July 1st.
This is really interesting, Stockton. A lot of controversy happening in the state of Utah right now. I don't know if I was necessarily shocked at the override, but it's just nonetheless very interesting to see what's been happening.
Yeah, it's just everyone has their opinions. It can absolutely just, it's crazy how much these these little opinions can build up, and they can absolutely just demolish an infrastructure, really.
For sure. There's been a lot of stuff going on in our Utah State Legislature recently, so we'll be sure to keep everyone updated with that.
Absolutely. Coming up next, I'll be back with Stockton's Screen Time.
1, 2, 3, 4. 0.52 kilograms. This graph is square.
Pretty close.
Artemisia is all the sagebrush, but there's your needle and thread. Which one is this?
Come down. Perfect. Great. Sodium carbonate.
Hey there, Trailblazers. I hope you're enjoying these fine tunes on this afternoon. We're at the top of our hour, and we have more music on the way, so stay tuned.
If the character is moving too fast for their stride,
Welcome back. Let's get right into the thick of it. Will Smith took the Oscars by storm by slapping Chris Rock live on television. The reason for the exchange was due to a joke that Chris Rock made regarding the appearance of Will Smith's wife, and by proxy, her health. Smith marched right on stage and smacked the host with a very dramatic slap. After the slap, Will Smith won Best Actor for his performance in the Williams sisters' biopic, King Richard. The Oscars released a tweet afterwards saying that the Academy doesn't condone violence of any form. Will Smith since then has issued a formal apology to Chris Rock on his Instagram, saying, "I was out of line and I was wrong. I am embarrassed and my actions were not indicative of the man I want to be." The last thing I will say about the matter is Denzel Washington's involvement. Apparently, Denzel was quite the mediator between the two celebrities throughout the rest of the night. After the altercation, Denzel said to Smith, "At your highest moments, be careful. That's when the devil comes for you." Kind of sounds like Smith's apology was influenced by these words, but that's just my opinion on the matter. Of course, when anything happens with a celebrity or anything they do that's sort of foolish or just absolutely just news-breaking, the meme game is always strong, and I like to showcase a couple of these. I'm always a big fan of the, "Was I a good meme?" And I always ends up going back in the face, literally, for this guy right here. And this was my experience literally just this week when I found out about the altercation. Oh, it's beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Funny enough, these two actually lead perfectly into our next story today. The MCU's next step in its legacy is Moon Knight on Disney+. The first episode premiered yesterday, and it seems to be a more standalone story in the MCU with a darker tone and a focus on the multiple personalities of Oscar Isaac's character. The series will last for 6 episodes, with each episode being released on Wednesdays. This series is also being billed more as a limited series, so it's unclear whether or not this will get multiple seasons and if the series will have a larger connection to the rest of the MCU. Lastly, fans of the Wizarding World are in for a very interesting holiday season this year. thanks to Hogwarts Legacy. This game is an open-world, free-to-explore video game set in the world of Harry Potter in the late 1800s. You get to explore Hogwarts, attend classes, and stop a goblin uprising from happening across the wizarding world. The game is being developed by a team of Harry Potter superfans at Avalanche Games who wanted to make sure that Hogwarts felt alive and the world was yours for the taking. You can also decide what kind of wizard you want to be, such as being able to customize your character from the ground up and using the spells you want to use, even the evil ones. The game is set for holiday of this year, so it will still be a couple of months, but I won't be surprised to see if the game is delayed into 2023. After the break, we'll be back with Reagan and the newly elected student body VPs.
I take the road less traveled, run free, unwind, unravel someplace outside with lots to do. Green trees, red rocks, and don't forget that blue sky. The sunshine shining, sunshine pouring on me. Think I might just stay a while. Say hooray all day because the sun is gonna shine on me. Sun is gonna shine on me. Shopping sprees, sip my ties and don't forget that blue sky. The sunshine shining, sunshine pouring on me. Think I might just stay a while. Say hooray all day because the sun is gonna shine on me. Sun is gonna shine on me. Sun's gonna shine on me.
Welcome back. Today I am joined by Vice President-elects Carson Ray and Fernando Rodas. Sorry. Thank you so much for being on the show. I really wanted to have you guys here just to shed some light on what your guys' roles will be next year as the VPs. So I want to start off just with some introductions. Carson, if you don't mind starting, just tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, of course. So my name's Carson Ray. I grew up in Hurricane, Utah, graduated from Hurricane High. Close by. My dad owns a business locally, so that's actually where I work. It's a little pawn shop on the boulevard.
Oh, cool.
Super cool. Yeah, I love it. It's so fun. I've been here at Dixie for 2 years. I'm majoring in biomedical sciences, and I'm just excited. My goal in life, I want to become a doctor, so I'm planning on going to med school. Cool. I love getting involved. I love student government.
Yes,
so fun.
That's awesome. And you are the new vice president for next year of Utah Tech University of Academics.
Academics.
Correct.
Yep.
All right. And what about you, Fernando?
Well, I'm Fernando. I am here local from St. George, Utah.
Oh, so
but
two
locals. Yeah.
Okay.
I live in Hurricane as well.
Great town.
And yeah, from Hurricane High. Great. Go Tigers.
Did you guys know each other?
Yes,
or?
He was a grade above me. He parked behind me in high school.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, so
crazy.
When he was on Instagram, I was like, hey, like this is just like old times.
Yeah.
So working together will be a good adjustment,
for sure.
right?
Yeah.
Smooth?
Yeah, I love Southern Utah. I'm a really big fan of down here. I work as an office manager for a painting company. It kind of sparked it a little bit in me, and now I get to open my own business pretty here soon.
Wow.
In that same field. So yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Super cool.
That's super cool. Wow. What are you majoring in right now?
Business management. So
Okay.
it kind of correlates
right.
with each
Okay.
other. Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Awesome. So I guess we can just go one by one, but I want to know what your goals are, your main goals for next year. Oh, and I forgot to mention, Fernando is the next VP of Clubs and Organizations, so he'll be over that. So yeah, let's talk about goals. Goals for next year and what you plan to accomplish with your new roles.
For sure, yeah. One of my biggest goals is I want to make sure that the senators on the academic senate are more recognized by the students. I feel like a lot of the senators, people don't really know who they are, and I really want to change that. We've started, this previous VPA has actually put out suggestion boxes starting this week. I don't know if you guys will notice them. They're red, huge, gonna be right in the middle.
Good to know.
Yeah. And I also, I don't know if a lot of people are familiar with the academics branch, but one of our main purposes is we provide funding for conferences, capstone projects, any sort of way that's going to improve your overall academic success. And I really want people to know that we're there and we're here to help them. And I I want to make sure that we get as many people funded as possible.
That's awesome. I think that's really important to echo out to students, because students need to know that that people have their back, and that's
free
awesome.
Free money too. Like,
yeah, free money. Come on. What about you?
Loves money. Yeah. So my role for clubs and organizations, a little about them is they oversee all the clubs here on campus. We have over 60, 70 active clubs here on campus.
So many.
That's amazing because it shows that students have an interest in doing something other than just being, studying.
For sure.
Yeah, being a student.
Yeah,
since COVID era, it kind of went dormant. Like clubs just were inactive. It was a little bit harder to accomplish many things. Mm-hmm. So, right now, it has been being rebuilt to get towards that goal that, we got a lot of students going on. If they want to have de-stress because of like assignments, finals, or whatever, like that's what a club's there for. Well, my plan is to get these clubs and make them bigger. Like, I want to focus on the infrastructure of what a club is, have a high-performing team. What that means to me is having great communication, delegation, creativity, because you want to create something amazing, something that's fun for students to attend, and market themselves well, because how will you attend an event if you don't know about it,
Right.
Also, I was an event director too, so I know how to do events from the ground up. So teach them how, the process, it will incorporate many things, and it's going to put out the best out of there, and I'm so excited for it.
That's awesome. I can see your guys' enthusiasm, and I know that you guys are going to do great. I'm super excited for you guys both.
Thank you. I appreciate
it. That's all the time we have for today. Thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate you guys coming out. And
thank you.
Yeah, good luck in all your future endeavors, and I can't wait to see you guys running Utah Tech University.
Heck yeah, go Trailblazers.
After the break, we will check in with Max to update us on DSU athletics.
Our fight against coronavirus isn't over. We still have to slow the spread and do our part. Let's wear face masks in public. Stay 6 feet or more from others. Follow state and local guidelines. Wash our hands frequently and stay home when we feel safe. For ourselves, for our loved ones, for our future. Let's move forward together. Learn more at coronavirus.gov.
Welcome back, Trailblazers. Let's jump right into everything DSU athletics. The interim tag has been removed for Ken Beezer, as he was announced as the new permanent athletic director for DSU. In a press conference held yesterday, Beezer talked about the potential this university has to be very competitive very soon into this Division I transition, along with facility upgrades. He talked about athletics being a common ground when it comes to the Utah Tech name change and the community. He also mentioned that he will lean on the 3 T's during his tenure: tassels, titles, and traditions. He doesn't want to do anything that isn't focused on graduating athletes, winning games, and forming strong traditions for the future. Baseball took the 3-game series from Seattle U 2-1 over the weekend, putting the Trailblazers at 13-10 on the season. More importantly, those wins have them at 8-4 in conference play, which currently puts them in second place. We are starting to see another team for DSU make that transition to Division I look smooth, with a seasoned coach to guide them. Coach Chris Pfeifenhauer is in his 10th year with the Trailblazers, having already led them to a 4th place finish in their WAC debut last spring. What's more impressive for Coach Pfeifenhauer is the team he is able to form. At 2nd place in the WAC, he only has 1 player sitting in the top 5 of any individual hitting or pitching category within the conference. So far, he has created a team full of team players. The Trailblazers will play a 4-game series at Cal Poly this weekend. Softball dropped their home series against Grand Canyon as it was swept by the Lopes in St. George as they took all 3 games. Despite losing, the Lady Trailblazers still post an above 500 home record at 10-9. With a now 4-game losing streak, DSU has simply struggled to bring in runs. They've only scored a total of 8 points in their 4 losses, while they scored 30 points in their last 3 wins. They haven't been able to produce points outside of a home run here and there. The Lady Trailblazers will look to keep people on base and get back on track as they take on Seattle U on the road this weekend. and then there were 4. The Final Four will take place in the Bayou of New Orleans this weekend to decide who will play for the national championship on Monday night. Let's take a look at the 4 teams that we will see. First off, we have Kansas. Big, physical, athletic. This is a program that has not won a national championship since 2008, so they're hungry, looking to redeem themselves and put themselves back in the spotlight of college basketball. They're the number 1 seed in this Final Four, yet I think they're surprising people knowing that they've gotten this far. A lot of people did not expect them to make it this far. They thought they'd get upset. And they're going to look good and party it up at the Final Four, I am sure. You look at this play, they are excited and fired up to go. They're going to face a gritty, tough, experienced Villanova squad. They won the most recent championship out of the 4 teams that we will see in New Orleans, as they won back in 2018. But their captain last game blew his Achilles, and so they're going to look to see if they can replace him in this game. But again, they are tough and experienced, and they're going to give Kansas a great game. The second game, however, has the potential to be the game of the year. The 3rd edition of North Carolina and Duke is upon us. North Carolina, a big athletic team, gets up and down. They are the underdogs, ironically, as they've been the king of college basketball for a long time, but they're the underdogs in this Final Four, being an 8 seed, getting all the way to this point. They're going to look to battle it out with their rivals. They're playing their best basketball right now, and again, they are the underdog. But they did beat Duke once and split the season series with those guys. Again, big athletic players for them. But then you have Duke, the most talented team left in the tournament, but also the most inexperienced team left in the tournament. Their best 3 players are all freshmen, but again, very, very talented. They also have the best player left in the tournament, in Paolo Banchero, who's looking to be a top 2, top 3 NFL, NBA draft pick come the summer. This is a team who's playing for Coach K as he's announced his retirement. His tenure will end once Duke's season ends as well. But again, it will end at the Final Four. Not a better way to close it out. So let's analyze these 2 teams. Let's see what our picks are going to be, right? Stockton, I know you're out there, my man, and I know the people want to hear what you have to say. The first game, Kansas-Villanova. Are you going to go Rock Chalk Jayhawk with the number 1 seed left in the tournament, or are you going to go with the guys from Philadelphia, the Villanova Wildcats? What do you say?
The one with the dancing crow.
Yes, the dancing crow, the Jayhawk.
Yes,
if you will, yes.
The Jayhawk. They really know how to. I'm sure that crow takes many jazz lessons.
Yes, the crow does inspire them on and off the court. So you're going to roll with Kansas in that first game, correct?
Yes, I love his tiny outfit. He looks like he has a really good dresser.
He does look amazing in that suit. That's good. Second game, again, North Carolina and Duke have dominated college basketball for the longest time. 2 historic programs with historic teams, historic coaches, everything. Michael Jordan, right, played at North Carolina, considered the best basketball player of all time, and a slew of players have come from Duke as well, right? North Carolina's last national championship was in 2015. Duke's was in 2016. Again, doing that back-to-back years. They've been to the Final Fours. They've won a ton of national championships, yet this is the first time ever that these 2 programs have played each other in the NCAA tournament. North Carolina is the underdog. Duke is the inexperienced team, but more talented. So, are you going to roll with the Dukies, or are you going to go down Tobacco Road with North Carolina?
I don't like how you called them the Dukies. Is Duke's the one where the guy from Space Jam is in it, right?
Yeah, yes.
Okay. You know what? Believe it or not, I actually have heard of Duke. And it sounds like it's a really big deal that they actually played each other in the NCAA. So it kind of sounds like history is being made here. Am I being wrong here?
No, history is being made, and it'll be a great game. Reagan, I want to bring you in right now. Give us your takes. Again, Kansas, Villanova, North Carolina, and Duke. What do you say? What are your picks for Saturday?
Well, I just want Villanova out of there, so I'm just going to say Kansas. I'm agreeing with Stockton here. I want Kansas to win. I don't know. It's hard for me to say between those two teams because I would lean towards Villanova just based off of skill and ability. I see them taking it, but I want Kansas to win. I'm sick of seeing Villanova. They also beat my team, so we're just going to forget about them. As for North Carolina and Duke, I can't believe that they're actually playing. This is so historical. It's so cool, and I got to root for the underdog, so North Carolina for me.
Hey, great picks by both you guys, and again, it'll be a very, very fun Saturday afternoon and evening as we watch these two games play out. And that's it for this week's edition of Sun News at Noon.
We will see you here next week, same time, same place.
Have a great week, Trailblazers.